All right, here it is. First one, what I learned this week, the week of January 1st, 2024. It's just poetic. I'm writing everything down real quick for myself on this little notebook my wife gave me. And so I'm going to look at this every once in a while just to remind myself of what it is I want to share this week. But the first thing I wanted to share is that owning my own business can be a high anxiety endeavor for me. It was a very stressful and anxious week for me. I had to be reminded a couple of times that it is not the first time that having my own business has been a stressful and high anxiety endeavor for me. And so I fortunately had counseling this week. And what that counseling taught me is my second point for this week, which is that balancing my anxiety and my level of trust or faith is something that I have control over. And that I can have both at the same time, and that it's a weighted measure. It's not an either or. So I can be experiencing anxiety and faith or trust at the same time, but likely one is going to be overriding the other. And this week, anxiety was much higher than trust or faith. But there are things I can do about that, and there are things I can do to change that. And that's what I'll be learning in the next few weeks, I'm sure. Also, as a part of that, I was reminded that new things can cause more anxiety, and that's okay. I've had some new experiences in my business journey over the holidays of, frankly, being ghosted. And I hadn't quite experienced that yet. I hadn't quite experienced just a drop-off of communication as sharply as I did over the past couple of weeks. And that brought about a lot of anxiety. And so that's okay for me to feel anxiety about that. There's a theme, obviously, here for the first week, which is anxiety. The fourth thing, business at the level that I'm at right now, which is solopreneur, will typically have seasons of unpredictability. So how can I better prepare myself for those seasons? And this is raw because this is a season of unpredictability for my business. And I thought I was more prepared than I was probably. Or I convinced myself that I was preparing. And I think I did do things to prepare, but reminding myself that that will always be something that is possible, right? And that I have to prepare for, and that I have to get better at preparing for and get better at expecting that there will be unpredictability. And finally, the light at the end of the tunnel, the sunshine through the clouds, is there are always reminders to be found of the successes I've had. This was a good one for me this week because I use a program called Honeybook, and I went on there and it's like, here's your 2023 in review, and of course it's like the little like Instagram story style slides and things like that. And it reminded me that I did not fail this year. Just because it feels hard right now, I did not fail in 2023 to have success and to have getting closer and closer to the goals, that I had outlined at the beginning of the year. I took on more clients in 2023 than I did in 2022. My business grew by 16%. I made more money. Those are all things I needed to be reminded of this week. In the struggle and in the hard, I needed to be reminded that there are successes to be found. And I just need to open my eyes to them, allow myself time to rediscover them, and give myself a whole lot more credit than I often do. Because when it's hard, it is overwhelming, and it feels overwhelmingly hard. And I get to remind myself that there is good and that there is success to be found. So that's what I have learned this week, the week of January 1st, 2024. Lord willing, I will do this again next week because it feels actually really good to say all of this out loud. So we'll try it again next week. Okay, see ya.